What is up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to discuss how many days per week you should work out, how many days you should spend in the gym in order to sculpt the body you've always dreamed of. Now, I'm not talking about a big bodybuilder's physique. I'm talking more about a model physique, a swimmer's physique, a lean, strong physique with a good natural amount of muscle mass, which is achievable without steroids. And I would say for the general population who has a job, who has family responsibilities, who has other things to do than spend his life in the gym, I would say the optimal number of days for you to work out is between 2 and 4 days per week. Now, why between 2 and 4 days? Because in order to build an optimal amount of muscle mass, you should perform a certain amount of volume, which means a certain number of hard sets per week close to failure per muscle group with a frequency of twice per week at the minimum. So whether you spread that volume over 2 sessions per muscle group or 3 sessions or even 4 sessions, it doesn't really matter as long as you respect those volume guidelines. Now for most people, between 9 and 15 hard sets per week close to failure will do the trick. And while you are building up your muscle mass, especially if you are a beginner, all the way to even a late intermediate phase, I'd say for most people a full body workout is going to do the trick because you can easily spread the amount of volume you need over 3 sessions, which will evenly spread out. The volume will allow you to get quality work sets in your workout routine, which will allow you to become progressively stronger and allow your body to grow muscle mass over time. Full body workouts are also great because they not only follow the guidelines which we need to respect in order to build muscle mass at an optimal rate, it will also benefit us from a flexibility point of view because, like I said, sometimes you have family responsibilities, sometimes you will have to work overtime. There are some things that are out of our control which will force us to skip a day of gym or push it to the next day or go a day earlier. And full body workouts allow for that flexibility because they allow for you to play with the amount of days that you go. And if you can go on Tuesday, for example, you can push it to Monday, or you can perform the workout on Wednesday if it allows you to manage your schedule better, and you will still be respecting the amount of frequency, the volume guidelines, everything you need in order to build muscle mass. That is why I think 3 days per week for most people is the perfect number. Even if you focus on compound movements, on big key movements that give you the most bang for your buck, you will have no problem building muscle mass. With a flexible approach to scheduling your workouts, you will be able to be consistent, you will make great strength and muscle gains. For me, full body workouts are what built my physique, and I will probably use them for the rest of my life. Now, if I am cutting, which means if I am on a fat loss phase, it has been scientifically proven, and I've tried this myself, that the amount of volume, the amount of hard work sets close to failure that you need in order to maintain, in order to preserve muscle mass when you are maintaining or even cutting, it's only 1/3 of the amount of volume you've used to build your muscle mass. So in essence, it is easier to maintain the muscle mass you've built than it is to create the muscle mass in the first place. It is easier to hold on to contractile tissue than it is to build contractile tissue. When you are in an energy deficit, when you are cutting down in order to lose body fat, you don't necessarily have to push to make strength gains because you have less energy in your system, you are eating less calories, and the main goal of a cutting phase when you are losing fat is to maintain your strength, because if you maintain most of your strength, that is a great indication that you are holding on to your hard-earned muscle mass. And yes, obviously, because of less glycogen in the muscles, because of less energy that you feed your body, you will lose a little bit of strength, especially if you are in an advanced stage of your lifting career. But that should only be a couple of percentages and not a huge amount. So working out twice per week will still give you a fantastic frequency, which allows you to train each muscle group twice per week. You will perform, if you choose to do so, you will perform less volume, but it will still be enough to hold on to your muscle mass. So that gives you flexibility and freedom. And why do more if you can get the same results with less? If you are an advanced lifter, upper lower splits are a great next step in order to maximize your muscle growth, especially if you are bulking up. Because if you've gotten really strong for your body weight, handling both bench presses, weighted chin-ups, overhead presses, and squats, leg work in one workout can be pretty hard on the body. It can be pretty fatiguing. Plus, all those warm-up sets will allow you, or will have to force you to spend longer days, longer hours in the gym, the days you do work out with full body workouts. If you have reached a certain strength level that is going to be too hard for you to perform all the movements in your training schedule on one day, then it may be better for you to split things up and focus on training your upper body twice per week and focusing on training your lower body twice per week as well. So that's pretty much it. But for the majority of people, I would advise full body workouts. Full body workouts are not the evil that most people say it is. They are not, of course they are hard, but every lifting session is hard. They will teach you work capacity. They will allow you to sustain hard workouts and to teach your body what hard work is. It gives you freedom, it gives you flexibility, it gives you great strength gains. I've built my strength to very good levels relative to my body weight purely on full body workouts while having the flexibility to live my life to the fullest. And for me, there's no way back. Like I said, if you want to maximize everything, you may have to split things up a little bit on upper lower split if you wish to do so, but that is not necessary. In fact, all the all-time strongmen who had incredible physiques for being natural lifters in the time where steroids were not invented yet had amazing physiques that were built on the foundation of a full body workout. Full body workouts were the norm back then. It is only through the golden era of bodybuilding that body part splits have gotten popular because of the high volume loads, the high volume workouts that steroid users used in order to maximize their muscle growth. And I'm not saying that muscle building splits don't work. They do work if you respect the volume and intensity and frequency guidelines, but it is simply not necessary. And that is why I think working out between 2 to 4 days per week with the sweet spot of 3 days being optimal for most people, since it allows you to train with an optimal amount of volume, frequency, intensity, gives you flexibility, and it is something that is sustainable for the rest of your life, and that is also a major key factor, sustainability. Why perform a workout routine that is so hardcore, that is so extreme, that will only produce a slightly bit more of results than working out 3 days per week if you cannot sustain it in the long term? Because that is initially the key that is going to allow you to stay fit for the rest of your life, being able to stick to something that you can stick to for the long term. That is ultimately what will give you a fantastic physique. Not super high volume, just medium volume, between 9 and 15 sets, with beginners leaning more towards the lower end and more advanced athletes leaning more towards the higher end in specialization phases. Working out with a frequency of at least twice per week or 3 times per week is also a fantastic option. And like I said, guys, sustainability and consistency, because the person who is consistent with a lower volume approach will, over time, be more successful than the person who uses a higher volume approach but isn't able to stick to it. So keep that in mind. I hope this answers your question. If you have questions or if you have any remarks or opinions, comment them below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.